Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Sharon. We are here at our lake house in Granbury, Texas, which is wonderful. We love coming down here. It's very relaxing. I do have a much smaller kitchen, so when we decided to come here, I thought, well, let's do another episode, and I'll do mostly cold foods and party foods, but this first one I'm starting with is a hot food. It's an appetizer that everybody's familiar with, the appetizer meatballs. And I do an upscale version. The original recipe is frozen meatballs, chili sauce, and grape jelly. Well, I'm stepping it up. I'm starting with the meatballs, and you need to get, for appetizer meatballs, it's better to do the ½ ounce, which are, you'll see this size, okay? They're the, ½ ounce of frozen meatballs. Putting them in my crock pot, and then a bottle, the whole bottle of chili sauce. I've used store brand chili sauces before. Do not do that. You have to use the Heinz. It's the best. So I'm using the chili sauce, the whole bottle. Takes a minute. You know Heinz, it's slow. But there we go. Okay. So I'm going to let that just sit there, get the rest of that in there. And then the best is Vam's Jam, raspberry thyme jam. So I'm using this jam in this, and I'm going to use the whole jar. So the meatballs were a 28-ounce bag. I think the original recipe calls for a 32-ounce bag, but this is what was available. So I'm sorry if I'm scraping this, but I want to get all this jam out of here. Okay, that's about as good as I can get. All right, I'm gonna put that there. And then I'm gonna put the rest of this, since most of it has come to the bottom of the bottle, finish that off. Okay, and then I'm just gonna give this a quick stir. And cover it. And this is gonna cook on high for like 2 hours. And once it's done, I'll show you the finished product. But yeah, they're delicious. Okay, so the next item we're gonna make is cucumber sandwiches. And they're very popular, but before I go into how to make them, I just wanna emphasize that the meatballs take about 2 hours on high in a crock pot. Okay, so moving on. So I'm starting with 1 block of softened cream cheese, and I like to use Philadelphia cream cheese, especially for this, because it's the main ingredient. And then I'm going to add a couple of heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise. And you want a good mayonnaise, and it's got to be mayonnaise, not salad dressing, okay? And then we're going to do an envelope of Good Seasons Italian dressing, just the dry mix. You're going to mix that up. Now this recipe, my mom made it for everything, and so it's been in our family. Well, it was not her original recipe. It was her good friend Lorraine Woolley, but we have used it for any type of shower, wedding, whatever, appetizer, and it's incredible. And once that's mixed, you want it really good and mixed. I add, this is the one thing I've added to it over the years, is I add a little bit of dill to this. Just a couple of good shakes. And you can use fresh dill, but I actually kind of like the flavor of the dry dill in this. Oh, that smells so good. Okay. And then the other ingredient, and I'll show you when we're putting them together, is cucumbers. So I had these sliced on my mandolin, so see how paper thin these are, and they're wonderful. So I'm going to move that aside. I'm going to grab a couple slices of bread. I'm just going to do one here so you can see how I put them together. I used to make these, and if I can find them, but they're really hard to find, the Pepperidge Farm party breads, and they're like a square, a small square, and they're perfect. And we served them open face. But it's very hard to find them, and I found another brand of the pumpernickel bread, and they tasted just like cardboard. They were dry and did not like them at all, care for them at all. So I decided to do these on the regular Pepperidge Farm pumpernickel bread, and they're just delicious. So I'm going to spread the mixture on both sides of bread, and I do it as a sandwich now instead of open-faced. But I'll show you how we present them. Okay? And then I get a bunch of the cucumber slices, probably about 8 or 10, and just line them up all around here. I think I'm going to go with 10 on this. They are very thin, but you want to make sure there's cucumber in all your bites. 10. Okay. Then I'm going to close it, and then what I do is get my knife and I cut off the crust, because we're serving them like a little tea sandwich. Okay. But I know, these kind of seem like for women only, but I'm telling you, my boys and any guys that have tasted these love them just as much. They're really fabulous. Okay, so you could cut them in thirds. And they're just a cute little party sandwich, see? So I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of these, and then we'll come back and show you all of them. Okay, so one of the other things I would serve for a shower or a party is pimento cheese sandwiches. I do not make pimento cheese. My sister has a great recipe for it, and my niece, but I will buy this palmetto cheese. It's really, really good. If you have any other brand, and I did buy one brand because I couldn't find this, and it was a little dry, so I added a little more cream cheese, a little more mayonnaise, and a little more shredded cheddar, and it was really delicious. Okay, so I just used plain white bread. You can use wheat bread if you prefer. I like white bread with pimento cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those made, and then we're gonna go on to the next item, which is a mini or a bite-sized cheese ball. So this is how I make my mini cheese balls. As you can see, I've made some of them. I started with 1 block of softened cream cheese, which is 8 ounces, and then 4 ounces of goat cheese. And I mix that up. Actually, after I mixed it and it was nice and smooth, I put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes just to get it a little more firm, because then I used this cookie scoop and made these balls out of them. And then you're going to roll them in this mixture, which was a 1/2 cup of crushed pistachios and a 1/2 cup of chopped craisins. So I'm going to go ahead and do these remaining 3. Well, let me do the rest of this in here with it. And pistachios, mix that up. And they're really pretty. They're actually pretty for the holidays too because of the coloring. So I'm going to roll these in here. And you want to get a good coating on there. And you could use a skewer for these if you wanted to, or a thick toothpick. But I like the pretzel. I think that's cool. Okay, so we're going to do pretzel there. I'm going to roll up these last 2. Now I'm going to have some pistachio mixture left. So it's still good to munch on or snack on if you want to. Because I'm putting a pretty thick coating on here. But aren't they pretty? And they're really tasty. I didn't add any seasoning or anything to the cheese ball, but you could add some salt and pepper or a splash of Worcestershire maybe. But okay, so that's the last one. There we go. I'll put the last 2 pretzels in there. But they make a really pretty presentation. So there you go. And that's my mini cheese balls. And we're going to go on to the last thing, which is the Phyllo cups. Okay? So the last one we're going to make today is these Phyllo cups with Brie cheese and jam. These are the best. You do not have to do anything to them. You just take them out of the freezer. And what I did is I cut up some small chunks of Brie cheese and put them in the Phyllo cup. And then I'm taking some of my 2 favorite jams from Vam's Jam. Since I used raspberry thyme in the meatballs, I decided to go with blackberry sage. I'm going to have to use 2 hands with this, sorry. And these are very fragile, so you have to be kind of careful. But they're already, if you can hear that, I don't know if you heard that, there's already a crunch to them. And then this is my favorite all-time of the Vam's Jams, this is strawberry rosemary. And the bite with this, with the salty cheese and the sweet herby jam and the crisp, it's just phenomenal. So that's the last one we're going to do, but I'm going to give you a presentation of all of them in just a minute, because if you could smell these meatballs, oh my goodness, they are just heavenly. So we're going to show you the finished product of those as well. Okay, so now we have the finished product of everything. I wanted to show you. These are the meatballs, and they're just finished. Got them just out of the crock pot. They cooked for exactly 2 hours. We have the mini cheese balls, the Phyllo cups with the Brie cheese and the 2 flavors of jam. And one thing too, you could, if you didn't want to do the jam, you could do fresh fruit like blueberries, blackberries, strawberries on these. They'd be really good too. And then we have the 2 different kinds of sandwiches, the pimento cheese and the cucumber sandwiches. So everything is finished. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this meatball. That's a big bite. Really good. The raspberry flavor with that meatball is delicious. You could use chicken meatballs or turkey meatballs. They'd be just as good. So thank you for joining us at the lake house. My family and I are going to have a little party now. Have a great day.